I'm really excited to be here this morning. I may be too excited. I don't know how this is going to go. I know Betty Larson just, oh God, oh Lord, pray for me, a sinner. I'm excited because I'm excited to see you. I've been gone for a minute, and now I'm back, and so I'm excited to be back and excited to see you. But I'm also really excited about the Old Testament text for this morning, right? You know you're in the company of a Bible dork when that line comes out. I'm really excited about the Old Testament text this morning. Bob Owen, it contains my favorite line of the prophets. Y'all know this line? Reba read it beautifully. The prophet Zechariah says to the people, y'all are the people, by the way. The prophet Zechariah says to the people, return to your stronghold, O prisoners of hope. Prophet calls us prisoners of hope. We are, did you know this? When you got out of bed this morning and your feet hit the floor, did you know that you were going to be called today a prisoner of hope? Y'all are prisoners of hope because we're the ones that when all hope seems lost, go on hoping. Huh? Y'all ever watch the news? Don't do it. But if you ever have, those people on that television, Bob, they do not think that there is much to hope for. But we do. Why? Because we're in chains, baby. We are prisoners of hope. Y'all know the prophet Zechariah? Do you mind if I, little Sunday school lesson, little context, so we can tell you who the prophet is in case you don't know. If you do know, this is just review. You'll make it. All right, so here's the deal. The prophet Zechariah is around 6th century BC, so 2600 years ago, right? The Israelites, the children of God, y'all with me so far? The Israelites, when the prophet Zechariah comes along, have been exiled from their homes for decades. It's like if we had to be uprooted from Lexington today and shipped off to Topeka and had to stay there for about 70 years. That's their situation. They are in the Topeka of their day as opposed to their home, Jerusalem. Now, what happened to them to get them carted off, is they got attacked by the Babylonians. And the Babylonians attacked them and wrecked their homes and sacked their temple. So they tore the temple down to the ground. You with me? So imagine somebody comes here and tears Good Shepherd Church down to the ground, stone by stone by stone. Now, a whole bunch of the Israelites in that day were taken prisoner and carted off to Babylon. You with me? And that's where they were for maybe as many as 70 years, which back in that time might have been a couple, maybe 3 generations. And then a great conqueror named Cyrus came and conquered Babylon. Make sense? And Cyrus set the Israelites free from their captivity and told them they could go back home. So all the Israelites, our ancestors, these children of God, who've been living away from their home, the trap is sprung and they're allowed to go back. And so they come back here to their home. For them, it was Jerusalem. And what they find when they get to Jerusalem is the ruins. So it's like we come back to Bell Court and we find just a few stones on the ground. The ruins, our temple, our church is gone. And they look on the ruins, standing knee-deep in their own despair. And they think to themselves, sadly, how will we carry on? How will we live through this? How will we rebuild? It's too much. It's too much. And God hears them. God remembers them and hears them in their despair. And God sends a prophet, this cat named Zechariah. Sidebar, can I tell you what Zechariah's name means? God remembered. That's a cool meaning of a name. All right, back to the sermon. God sends Zechariah. And this is what Zechariah says to the people as they're standing knee-deep in the ashes of their own despair. He says, hey, people, return to your stronghold, oh, prisoners of hope. And that's my favorite line. Stronghold. He says, return to your stronghold. Now, what do you suppose their stronghold is? I know what it is. Their stronghold is their memory. Zechariah is asking them to remember what they've been through. He's saying, look at your own lives and the lives, the stories of your ancestors. Remember what you've been through. And the Israelites, when asked to remember, if they choose, can remember that they've been delivered before. They can remember that they come from a people who have been delivered before. They can look back on their lives and remember the story of the parting of the Red Sea. They can remember the story of their deliverance from captivity under the awful evil thumb of Pharaoh. They can remember that their people were once slaves and are now free. They can remember their own stories and remember that though they have a ways to go, they've come a long, long way. We can remember too. See, here's the third reason I am hyped up this morning. Somehow, we have all of us, made it this far. You are here. I am here. I don't think y'all understand what I'm saying. You have lived your life. Sandy, you know what I'm saying, don't you? You have lived your life and you are here. We've all made it this far. And everybody I know, no exceptions. If you say you're the exception, you're a liar. Everybody I know has been through a hell of a lot. Anybody in this room hadn't been through a lot? See, everybody I know has been through a lot. And everybody in this room right now is alive in spite of it. You want me to ask the question, Bob? Are there any dead people in this room? Everybody is here. You're here. Somehow we've all made it to this moment. We are prisoners of hope because we remember what we've been through. 2 days ago, Kristen, Gracie, Mary, and I were traveling down Interstate 81 in North Carolina, kind of in the shadow of that beautiful sort of flat-top Pilot Mountain, if you know the place. We were going like everybody else, about 75 miles an hour in a car. We came around a corner, and Kristen said, Hendree, everyone is slowing down. They're really, really slowing down. Indeed, brake lights all over the place in front of me. All of a sudden, I pressed on our brakes and immediately looked in the rearview mirror. Always check the rearview mirror. I tell my daughter, Gracie, baby, check the rearview mirror. You've been there, I'm sure. You've been there, right? The people behind us, I checked the rearview mirror. They were not slowing down fast enough. I swerved to the right, got off on the shoulder to make more room for the pickup truck behind me. Good thing I did, because he came up right beside us. We all kept moving. I swerved to the left, then to the right, making room for everybody behind me, certain that we were going to be crashed into. It happened all like lightning, so fast. I was sure there'd be a 20-car pileup. We'd be at the bottom of it. We all came to a screeching stop on the interstate, inches from each other. And then traffic picked up. And we all moved on. Huh? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? And we're here. I'm here, just like you're here. I'm not in a hospital, not in heaven. Nobody in this room right now is in a hospital right now. We're all here. We're all here. And I get lucky sometimes, but I don't have a deep belief in the power of luck or chance. And I don't think that you do either, because I don't think you would be sitting here in church burning up a perfectly good Sunday morning if you had a deeply held belief in luck. And I'm not saying that we were spared or there's some kind of miracle or God put his finger on anything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we're all here We're all right here, right now, in these pews because we share a sense that there is a mystery much deeper than chance coursing through the core of our lives. And my bet is that you have a sense, however slender, that life is gift. Huh? And that we've all made it to this moment on the tender wings of God's grace. We're here. We are prisoners of hope. So think back through your own biography. What have you lived through? What have you somehow lived through? You ever been really, really, really sick? You ever had your heart broken? Like taken out of your chest, ripped in half, thrown on the ground? You ever had someone you love a whole lot die on you? You ever been assaulted? I have. You ever been fired from a job? You ever been cheated on? Have you ever cheated on someone? What have you been through? You ever wanted to quit drinking or doing drugs, but you just, darn it, you just couldn't? You ever loved an alcoholic? You ever been arrested? Don't raise your hands. You ever lost your faith? You ever struggled in the night with doubt that there is a God? You ever been the object of racism, sexism, or homophobia? For a large chunk of my childhood, I mean years, a large chunk of my childhood, I was terrified in the marrow of my being of being kidnapped and taken from my family. It was a debilitating fear that I didn't tell anyone about until I was in my late 20s. What have you been through? Huh? We've all been through an awful lot. Think of that thing. Hold your own biography up to the light in your mind's eye. Isn't it amazing that we're here? How the hell did you live through that? You're with me, aren't you? We are here right now. That thing, those things, whatever you've been through, does not this day have the power to name you or claim you. You're here. And how did you make it? How did any of us make it this far? Well, God got us here. Well, God got us here. Somehow, some way, by some strange grace, God got us here. And don't hear me wrong. I'm no Pollyanna. God's love didn't protect us. Darn sure didn't protect me. I know it didn't protect you from any of those things in our stories happening to us. They happened. That was all real. But God's love has sustained us, hasn't it? Like fuel for the journey all along the way, God's love has sustained us as we've made our way to this moment. You're here. And you have a stronghold. The prophet Zechariah, Mary, he says, return to your stronghold. You have a stronghold. In your stronghold are the collected memories of everything you've been through to get to this moment. I can remember when I go to my stronghold, I can remember being told that I was infertile and would never have children. I have 2 teenagers who remind me that I am every bit a struggling parent. I could remember the exact moment and place and time when I picked up the phone at my house and was told that my father had died suddenly in the night. I can remember when I go to my stronghold, my disbelief at his death and my struggle to breathe. I can remember when I was in my late 20s being told that my young wife had cancer. And I can remember standing in the dark of night on my little brother's front lawn as we all watched the house that he had built with his own hands burn unceremoniously to the ground. When I go to my stronghold, I can remember these things. And paired with each tragic memory is another memory. It is the memory, the felt memory of God's love linking up with my hardship and carrying me through it. And that is why I know that I am a prisoner of hope. Hope won't let me go. I am locked up in chains. And whether you know it or not, you are too. You are prisoners of hope. What's got you down? What's got you down? Is it Supreme Court rulings? Is it something going on with your family? Anybody got a family? Is it something going on with your body? These bodies of ours can be challenging. What is it? What's got you down? You'll move through it. You'll move through it. Even if you die, you'll move through it. And not by luck or chance, but because God will walk with you through it. You see, underneath all the hardship, there flows uninterrupted a steady stream of grace. And the essence of you is one with that stream of God's being. Everybody in this room has made it to this moment. You are here. Let your soul shout that out inside your body. You are here. You and God, you did it. You made it here. It's unbelievable. You ought to walk out of here like above the ground, levitating at the miracle of you. Can you believe it? You're here. And you know that life is gift, pure and simple, and it's all for love. So don't waste the gift. Not a one of us ought to waste the gift. Because you know, there's some people who are not here, but we are. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing? So when you're feeling down later today, or tomorrow, or this time next week, let the prophet speak to you. Return to your stronghold. Remember your own story. Remember that you are a prisoner of hope. And you're here. You're here in this life right now. I am too. All of us. We're here. Amen.